Welcome and thank you for coming. My name is John Mollenhauer and I'm the president of the Toronto Construction Association. As you likely know, the TIPTA Award, which celebrates innovations in our industry, is offered across Ontario to companies that are innovative in terms of new technologies, sometimes something very simple, sometimes complicated engineering and advanced technology. We have seen all types. We celebrate today some of the folks that have shown excellence in terms of innovation in their product development. I just want to acknowledge our partnership with Informa on this important award. We also are grateful to CCI, the Canadian Construction Innovations Group, who are Ottawa-based and have been good enough to help us ensure that we had an objective review process, which I am absolutely confident we've had. We have 3 extraordinary winners this year, and I'm just going to very quickly introduce the 3 companies. I will tell you just a very little bit about their products. Each of the 3 will have an opportunity to come up and demo their product a little bit, so you begin to appreciate how some of these innovations will work, and it's a great thing for our industry and for our country as we develop new and innovative ways to approach design and construction. The winner this year is Upbrella, and we have Joey LaRoche from Montreal with us, who will be up in just a minute to demo a really exciting product. Joey and I were chatting a few minutes ago about his product, and I said I'm astounded that there hadn't been something like that introduced to our industry years ago. Essentially, Upbrella is a patented innovative construction system for high-rises. Essentially what they do is prefab a roof assembly that doesn't require a tower crane. And if you've been driving around Toronto in recent years, you know we have a record number of tower cranes in Toronto. It's slow, it's expensive. The Upbrella system creates a permanent roof, a set of synchronized vertical actuators to lift the roof at every level. Temporary protective enclosure is attached to the roof, peripheral work platform, and a roof undermounted crane, and a street-level side-mounted jib crane. In other words, they create a roof and a system that lifts as you construct a building. So one of the primary benefits of the system is that floors can be occupied as you complete them. You don't have to wait until the project's concluded. So Joey, congratulations to you and your firm. We're looking forward to a demo in just a moment. The second place winner this year is G7HVAC Inc. I believe that Stephen Cooper is with us today. I'm just not sure who's here, but we'll have them up as well to do a demo. And G7HVAC has developed something called trigeneration. It's something they call CCHP. It's a combination cooling, heating, and power system. And the solution permits the use of CHP, or cooling, heating, and power system, by adding a hot water driven absorption chiller. that is way beyond my small brain. We'll hear a little bit more from the experts about how that works. But among other things, the significant improved savings for building owners. And so we are looking forward to that demo in just a minute. The third place winner is ACO Systems Limited. Dina Phillip is here, I believe, to join us on stage in a few minutes to demonstrate ACO Systems innovation this year. This is about poor hygiene caused by, as a direct result of bacteria that is present in drainage. And poorly designed and manufactured drainage products lead to costly ongoing cleaning and maintenance. They talked a little bit in the brief that I was given about listeria, for example. That's close to home for me. My father recently contracted listeria, so I have a pretty good sense of the damage that bacteria in water can do, particularly as a result of food products. And essentially what they've done is take technology that's been used in restaurants, in food preparation, and use that. They've worked in concert with academic partners, R&D folks, and they've undertaken extensive testing. And the product they've developed incorporates hygienic design principles in stainless steel drainage systems. So I am also very much looking forward to seeing the demo from our third place winners. So Joey, we'll begin with you, our first place winner. We will of course present the check and the recognition at the end. And congratulations.
Hello everyone, my name is Joey LaRouche. I'm the CEO of Upbrella Construction. I'm here today to introduce Upbrella, a new construction system for high-rise that starts with the roof and doesn't require a tower crane. Before I do start the presentation, I would like to thank the Toronto Construction Association and Construct Canada for this very nice recognition of our innovation. So Upbrella, as I told you, is a new system that starts with the roof. The goal is to reduce the risk. We know high-rise projects are very risky ones. So we want to reduce the risk of those projects, improve the quality of the construction, and also the safety of the workers and the people around the construction site. Oh, there's a few words missing in the slide. That's okay. The opportunity that we decided to address a couple of years ago, because it took many years of R&D to reach the point where we are today. It's hard for the workers to do projects in height and in open air. So one of our reflection was that why do we continue to do high-rise? I mean, a 20-story building that costs $40, $50, $60 million to build and take 2-3 years. People keep on adding money to the project, and we have to go through the whole construction process before we can start to earn some revenues from the project. So it's a very risky business. People work outside, work in height, so there's a lot of different opportunities that we wanted to address. So we thought the solution is in the roof. Why is there so many risks in high-rise project? Well, the fact that we don't have a roof, the fact that we don't have envelope, and the fact that we don't have elevators are producing a lot of risk in those type of projects. So We thought the solution was in the roof. Of course, if we start with the roof, we have to install a lifting system inside the roof to be able to raise it as the construction progresses. We add to the roof a wall enclosure that surrounds the building, shelters the worker, the building under construction, and make sure that there's no fall of objects or people working on the project. In addition to that, since we have the roof, we need to modify the handling equipment. So we decided to replace the tower crane. Not that we're against tower crane, but we needed to replace tower crane because we had the roof. So we installed a bridge crane under the roof that extends outside the building, and a transport platform at street level that can move all the workers and materials all the way up to the construction zone. So those are the main components of the system. There are advantages for all the people involved in the project. For developers, we wanted to reduce the commercial risk. We know that the market can change rapidly. We know that the financing is difficult on those very large projects. So by allowing to occupy the building by vertical phases, we completely change the way high-rise projects will be financed and the way they will be delivered. We also control the calendar much better because once we started the construction, we control the environment and we control the speed of construction. For builders, what builders are telling us is that they lose pretty much 1 day per week because of the weather condition. That's 20% of the calendar. So just by making sure we're not going to lose productivity during bad weather, we can save 20% on the project calendar. We also can reduce the contingencies budgets. We eliminate fall accidents, and we can reduce costs on some geometry of tower as well. For the owner, just the fact that we work in a sheltered and controlled environment, we can produce better quality. Workers are in a much more comfortable position. We reduce impact on urban life. We take a lot less space on the ground, so it makes the project acceptance much better, much improved. The Rubik project we did in Montreal was ranked the 4th coolest construction project in the world by one of the biggest construction blog. It's a relatively small project, but it's a tower of 10 floors. It was completed structure and shell in a 5-month period, and we were able to save, even though it was our first project, $500,000 on a $7.5 million budget. So it was a good success for us, and we're very proud to present that at Construct Canada this year. A couple pictures of the project. One that I would like to mention, the one at the bottom left, you see that we construct the new floor only 2 feet above the previous one, so we eliminate all the work in heights. We prefer to eliminate the risk at the source, so we shelter the project and we build the new floors with everybody having their feet on the floor all the time. Once this is completed, we raise the new floor that's attached to the roof. We raise the new floor at its final height, and then we pour concrete. You can see on the bottom right that for people doing the window installation and the aluminum panel and masonry work, since the work platform that's outside the building is automatically relocated at every floor, it's like working on the ground, even if you're at the 40th. So makes a huge difference. An important part is the extensible elevator. To be able to occupy the building faster, we need the roof, we need the envelope, but we need elevators as well. So we develop a extensible stroke elevator that can be installed earlier in the process and that we can change the stroke as we progress with the high-rise construction. It's a patented technology. It was all developed in Canada. We have the patent in 28 countries, and we're licensing Upbrella around the world. We're lucky to have very good exposure during the last year when we were doing the project, and we're very happy to present that. Our target now is to market this technology in the 50 largest cities around the world. There are 3,500 towers in construction as we speak right now. So it's a very large opportunity. Upbrella is targeting buildings that are 10-story or higher, typically 10,000 square foot or less, so relatively 10 towers. This is to start with. Eventually we want to do all the towers. Yeah, it's a big market for us, and it's a very huge opportunity, and we were very happy to discuss with people in Toronto about some of the opportunity there are here in the city. We believe that to improve, we first need to accept the change. If we keep on doing the same thing, if we keep on having the same ingredients, we'll do the same recipe. We propose something different. We propose something that will improve this industry, and we believe the only way to go is that. So thank you very much for your time.
So my name is Steve Cooper. My company is G7HVAC. I've been in the HVAC business for about 15 years now, always in manufacturing. I went into the retrofit business there a few years ago. As a result of all of the high-rise condominiums in Toronto, new, retrofit, huge group back in and around the middle of the, 1965, that are actually faced with an opportunity right now of going bankrupt. Condominium corporations' maintenance fees are going through the roof. The owners are losing money daily on property value. You can't sell a condominium where your maintenance fees are $800-900 a month. So a couple of years ago, I founded G7HVAC with the intention to bring to the market a solution that would solve something that everybody's going to face that owns an old high-rise condominium, and from a new developer point of view, be able to put in the most energy efficient system that our market has ever seen. And I hope I brought something with some intention. I've spent the last couple of years putting together a network of manufacturers, the number one, the best in the world. Every manufacturer that G7 represents has stature in the market, has a reputation of being the best in their industry. And essentially what G7 has put together is an extension of combination heating and cooling. CHP is such a buzzword right now, and for the last 2 years, this has been my life. I've been speaking with the different people at the energy levels, at the utilities, and basically what's happening right now that I had found is CHP is actually a fantastic opportunity for any building, any industry. It doesn't matter. It's saving money, producing electricity at a rate sometimes half of what we're paying for in Ontario. And that was the key. Where we're running into a difficulty is the size of the CHP. So it goes without saying, the larger the CHP, the more savings for the building, for the customer. But when we're proposing 200 kilowatt systems, and for whatever reason, infrastructure, all the different things that are coming in, we're being asked to drop our CHP size down to 100 kilowatts. It's not doing me as a business owner any justice. It's not doing the customer any justice when we can put out a better system. And that's what we did. So this year I thought, instead of introducing just a product, I'd enter G7 into the Innovative Product Award for the Toronto Construction Association. guys, this is a game changer. This is something nobody's ever seen before. No one company stepped up and taken the time to find the best manufacturers that all support G7 with their technical information and combined it into a whole package, tri-generation. We represent a micro CHP manufacturer. We represent the largest CHP manufacturer in the world, 2G. And when you start to apply this to the high-rise market, we also represent Naylor Industries, which typically sells out a 2-pipe fan coil system into new construction because of the cost that the developer doesn't want to spend any extra money to run a chiller during the winter to provide the odd person that wants to have a little bit of cooling. But the reality of the high-rise market is come 12 o'clock and the sun's starting to face south, those people don't want heat, they need air conditioning. They're not willing to pay for that. So the heart of the system that G7 put together is definitely the CHP component. The electricity being produced from natural gas, we're in Canada, we have an abundance of natural gas. This is something where costs are stable for as far as we can predict. Electricity, we all can predict where that's going to be next year, 5 years for sure. Could be double what we're currently paying right now. Where we run into the engineering side of things and where these CHP systems fall short is come May 1st when you've got to shut your boiler systems down and turn on your chillers. Your energy costs have just went up tremendously because of the cost of operating the chiller. And what we do to combat that is we introduced the largest manufacturer of absorption chillers in the world. Broad Chillers. They're a company, the unit is manufactured in China, but they've seen such a market in the North American market. They started in the US and they started a separate company called Broad USA. So now, come May, when you shut your boilers, typically shut your boilers off and turn on your chillers, we're going to use the waste heat that was being supplied to the fan coil systems to match your domestic hot water loads, and we're going to put that waste heat directly into an absorption chiller. It's like being a magician. You put hot water in, cold chilled water comes out. The chiller is non-electric. It has no moving parts. The refrigerant is a lithium bromide and water solution. It's environmentally friendly. There is no harm in this. And in comparison, if I had to ask any executive from Toronto Hydro right now, what is your incentive? What is your initiative? And I'd throw out a proposition that on July 15th this year at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, if I can reduce cooling costs by 95%, we've got something that is actually going to change the way business is done for Toronto Hydro as well as the HVAC industry. It's all about comfort. We are fighting a problem with cooling. We're not having a problem with the process. We are having a problem keeping our demand in the city of Toronto under control when it's the hottest day of the summer, because you cannot tell the customer that's paying for your hydro, shut your AC off. You can introduce smart meters, you can try to reduce it slightly, but you cannot tell the paying customer that there's no solution. So in comparison, by taking CHP to the next level of tri-generation, I'll use a 100-ton chiller as an example. The most efficient modern day chiller today, 100 tons, operates on average of about 65 kilowatts. That exact same 100 tons of cooling I can produce for 2.5 kilowatts when I hook it up to my CHP system. And I think that's a game changer. It's going to change the way buildings are built. Why would I spend $1.2 million for a high-rise building down in Toronto when come noon in the middle of the winter, I want air conditioning. I don't want to go down to my property manager and tell him, hey, buddy, I spent $2 million on this penthouse suite and I don't have air conditioning. Absorption chillers takes that away, because now with the waste heat that I would usually be supplying my heating system in the winter, I'm now able to use that heat into my absorption chiller, changing the construction industry from a typical cheap 2-pipe system into a 4-pipe system. Now I'm giving the people that are interested in that luxury, into that, a real solution. And that's really where tri-generation is going to go as applied to the high-rise market. There's many other options, but in the high-rise market, Toronto's one of the largest cities in Toronto, and we've got 2 major pockets of building construction. The old buildings that don't even have air conditioning, built in the 60s, and the whole bunch of groups that were built in the mid-80s that were some heat pumps, some 4 pipes, some 2 pipes. The application can be used in new construction as well as retrofit applications. And I think, guys, that's definitely the way of the future. I was very happy that the Toronto Construction Association accepted my application as an innovative product, although I'm not really out here pushing out one product. I've put together a system. I can't display what we have, but we're located over in the Energy Conservation Zone, booth number 1714, and I can, anybody interested, I can walk you through exactly how the system works. We have a model of an absorption chiller on display in the booth, and what we're basically showing on our systems right now, when we were dealing with CHP alone, was a typical return on investment of about 4.5 years. I think we're going to do a little bit better when we add the absorption chiller. Gentlemen, ladies, gentlemen, thank you for your time. That's about all I have to say.
Hi everyone, my name's John Donaldson. I'm with ACO Systems. Dino couldn't be here today, but I'm the East Canada sales manager. First off, we'd like to thank the TCA, Construct Canada, and Informa for recognizing our products. ACO's been the world leader of surface drainage. We've been selling drainage products for 70 years and constantly looking at ways to innovate our products. And the whole philosophy behind the Hygiene First was to improve on what we already do. We've been selling drainage for many, many years, but we've come to realize there are pitfalls within certain industries that we felt we could do better with. So that's where the philosophy of the Hygiene First principles came from. Certain drainage doesn't account for everything. It's not going to take into effect perfect cleaning of the drains. And when you have food processing facilities, kitchen facilities, these areas need to be disinfected quite regularly, and including the drainage. Anytime we hear about bacterial growth within food facilities, 70% of the time that starts within the drainage. We can't clean the drains because of the way that they're constructed. We can't get away all the bacteria. We can't get away all the water that was in them. So ACO implemented this Hygiene First philosophy where we would look at all those different areas and see how we could improve on them. And they did that with rounding all the edges, making sure there's no hard corners, areas where dirt and bacteria can grow and thrive, making sure the entire drain releases all the water. There's no standing water left within the drain at all. And in the end, what we came up with was a series of products that are perfect for the food processing industry. They're the first products to gain NSF, National Sanitary Foundation approval and certification for use in slaughterhouses and meat processing facilities. So what you see here is one of our box channels, our Hygiene First box channels, which incorporate the different elements of the Hygiene First philosophy. There's different models depending on the type of floor that's going in, whether it's a vinyl floor, an epoxy floor. Many different aspects have been redesigned in the way that the grates are designed, the way that the products are welded, making sure there's no welds in the corners, no hard corners, and making sure all the water is discharged every time. So it allows the facility to be cleaned and disinfected not only better than before, but much faster as well, which eliminates costs for the industry. These products are located in breweries, food processing plants, commercial kitchens, restaurants, anything of that sort. All are made of stainless steel, both in 304 and 316. They've been sold around the world for about 2 to 3 years now since we implemented this hygiene first philosophy. Before then, we were selling the more typical types of drainage, which didn't take into account these bacterial growth areas and hot spots. I do have a couple videos which will play after these pictures run through, which will do a better job of explaining the concerns within the market and what we need to take care of.
Why drainage matters. Here's the food, and here is the drainage. We are in the food processing environment, which is literally washed down into the drainage every time it is cleaned. No wonder that 70% of positive Listeria screens are found in the drainage. It means the drainage may be the point of food contamination. Think about any traffic going over the drainage. Any standing water in the drainage or around it may be the threat to food. Speaking of threats, improper cleaning method combined with poor drainage design may end up in real disaster. So, what can you do? First, pay attention to your drainage and don't underestimate its impact on food safety. Second, visit our webpage, where you can learn about our approaches to drainage and its hygienic performance. We at ACO are committed to ultimate hygienic performance. We put hygiene first. How to get more from your kitchen floor. Well, when it comes to kitchen design priorities, every single piece of equipment has an impact on kitchen performance. Be it the cooking equipment, kitchen ventilation, or the kitchen floor with its drainage. The floor and its drainage are key elements of kitchen hygienic performance. Yet flooring, and especially drainage, trickles down to the bottom of the list of kitchen design priorities. Think about all the problems poor drainage can cause. Poor drainage means standing water. Standing water can cause serious injuries. Poor drainage means contaminated water. Contaminated water leads to hygiene issues. And on top of that, poor drainage can cause floor cracks. Floor cracks damage the building and make proper cleaning impossible. All of these influence kitchen performance, and more importantly, create extra costs. So how can you get more from your kitchen floor? Pay attention to your drainage choice. Visit our webpage where you can learn more about our hygienic drainage. We at ACO are committed to ultimate hygienic performance. We put hygiene first.
So those are some of the hygiene principles that are behind the Hygiene First line, and we hope that with this continued innovation in drainage, we can help to eliminate Listeria and other bacterial growths within the entire food processing industry and continue to move forward with this. So thank you again for the award, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much for the demos. I speak for all of us, I think, when I marvel at how much things are changing and how exciting some of these new products are. I want to now take a few moments and just ask our winner, Joey, if you could come back up and join us on stage. Again, I want to emphasize we had 23 presentations this year. 23 presentations that were objectively evaluated by our colleagues in Ottawa, Canadian Construction Innovations. So our thank yous to Pierre and his group for their objectivity, and I'm thrilled that we've had 23 submissions this year. That's up significantly from last year, which was up significantly from the year before and the year before that. So we're getting more and more competition, which suggests that our industry is getting more excited about innovation and new product development. It is, I think, in the context of 23 exceptional presentations, a particular honor for you, Joey, and your firm to have won. So congratulations. Now I'd like to present Joey with a couple of things. The 2016 Innovative Product Award on behalf of Construct Canada, Informa, and TCA. Congratulations. And and just a tiny bonus, a check for $5,000 for the winner.